Hi everyone, my name is Amanda BETTS and welcome to another episode of Ask the Agent. For any burning questions that you might have about the fashion and modelling industry, I might know the answer. I was in it for 29 years. This one is a really good question. Don't mind me referring to my little apple here. It's a really important one actually, very close to my heart. My 15-year-old daughter is super skinny. And I'm really concerned. She's eating okay, although it's extremely healthy food. She doesn't vomit, so I know it's not bulimia, and she is eating, so it's not anorexia. She seems fine, but I know she's not, and she keeps telling me it's no big deal. I'm stuck, can you help me? From Starving for Information. It's a great title, by the way. Wow, Starving for Information. First of all, thanks so much for writing in. Let me put this down and I'm going to tell you all about what your concern is. So, I've actually written a post about this one because it is close to my heart. It's called The Eating Disorder That's Not a Disorder But Can Kill You. Now, why was I so inspired by your particular question? When I was 16, I was chubby, right? I was about 95 kilos. I've written another story about that and losing weight as well. But I was chubby, so I got this great job, found this hot guy, I wanted to lose weight fast. So I plummeted into anorexia because that's what a teenager like me, who thought that they knew everything, did when you wanted to lose weight fast. Our body would respond, we'd lose the weight, done. I couldn't stand the no eating thing. It eventually got to me. I'm a Tory and I love my food. I love cheese and wine. I didn't at the time, but I certainly love cheese. And there was a reason I was tubby. It was probably because I used to work at a bakery. Anyway, it was a whole other story. So then I plummeted into bulimia. And so obviously bulimia is when I'd push a little bit of food around and I became a master at hiding things. But of course my body, I went down to, I think it was about 48 kilos. My friend was absolutely worried for me and she threatened me that her mother would force me to eat pies and burgers if I didn't do something about where I was at. And that was enough to scare me. So it was years later, I had Isaac and everything, it was cool, my son. It was years later when I became a model agent and when I was 30, so what am I now, 46, yeah, 16 years ago. And I discovered, in working with lots of young people predominantly, that there was a new disorder kid on the block and I couldn't figure it out. What I noticed is that these girls, mostly girls, would eat. They'd be really healthy with their food, so it wasn't bulimia and it wasn't anorexia. So I just called it the discipline disorder. Didn't know anything else to call it. I mean, what could I do? They were actually eating and they were eating very healthy food, but it was very disciplined. And they did a lot of exercise, possibly too much. Maybe I was jealous. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. I love exercise. Anyway, this discipline disorder, I thought I was going crazy because I go, oh, I'm sure that model has a discipline disorder. And then I'd see these women, sometimes in their 50s, 60s even, super skinny. You probably know somebody like that. A woman who's super slim. She just doesn't care for rubbish food. She won't eat the pies, she won't go for the sweets, she'll eat her salad and she'll eat food, but it's extremely healthy. Have you noticed? And it wasn't until last year when Rebecca Barry wrote a story on me and two other women, and it was called Through Pain Comes Triumph, how three women got through pain and suffering and ended up becoming successful. And I was very honoured to be on that story. It's a whole other story. It's there on my blog if you want to read it. And there, in the opening page, was a woman who had what's coined this discipline disorder that I'd known about. It's called orthorexia nervosa. I know, right? You're probably going, what is orthorexia nervosa? I know. Everyone that I knew up until that point, anyone I'd ever met, did not know about orthorexia nervosa, me included. I called it the discipline disorder. Now, orthorexia nervosa is an extreme obsession with health. And the biggest concern with that is the fact that they're still eating. But guess what? It can kill you. As I said, don't mind me with my little frog in my throat. As I said on my blog, it's definitely there, the details with regards to it. So, what to watch out for coming right up. Okay, the first thing to actually watch out for is soft downy hair. It's usually through the temples, through here, It can often sometimes be a little moustache, downy hair through the arms, and the small of the back. Now the downy hair, a little bit like anorexia and bulimia, and I'm not an expert, okay, let's just make that one thing really clear. This is from my personal experience, but considering I've dealt with thousands of teens and young people in my time, I'm just telling you what I know, okay, sharing with you information that I have. So downy hair, it's a coping mechanism for the body when it is malnutritioned, because the body needs fats. We all know that. We've got lots of books that you can go to find out about that kind of information. So watch out for downy hair, particularly around here, and particularly you can see I don't have any of those problems, okay? The second thing is to watch out for fluoride spots, usually on the fingernails. Soft, brittle fingernails is a really good sign. There's little white spots on the fingernails, sometimes at the teeth as well, because of fluoride, a lack of fluoride and the right kind of minerals, that can have a lot to do with it. The next thing, I think this is the really big test. If they cannot eat a good, healthy, fat meal, such as avocado, maybe it could be a really delicious homemade burger. Now, people say, but I don't eat meat, I don't eat chicken. Okay, have a vegetarian. There are amazing peri-peri vegetarian burgers from the Linda McCartney's range down at New World. There we go, I knew it would come to me. I speak from the heart, so don't mind me if I muck it up every now and then. But that's down in Victoria Park. There's great vegetarian burger patties there. They are so good. I even fooled Michael Dirth from The Grove and Baduzzi that was real meat. So that's how good they are. And if they can't eat a good, juicy, healthy burger, even if they're vegan, there's still really good replacements that you can have. And they can't do that, even Lebanese bread, even with salad leaves, but with all the bits in it. If they can't get a pie down them, I'm sorry, but we're Kiwis, if they can't get a pie down them, they don't eat lollies or any kind of treats whatsoever, they've probably got orthorexia nervosa. The other thing that's, I think, a really, really big concern, and why we quite often can be fooled to think that our children are healthy, or our friend is healthy, or our mother's healthy for that matter, when they are suffering from orthorexia nervosa, is they don't know they're suffering from it. To them, they're just being disciplined, and it's fair enough because they are. They exercise normally. They do eat, as I said. They get involved. They're not stroppy from a lack of food. They don't act stroppy. They don't make a big deal about food. They're like, no, I'm not going to eat that. They just have no interest for anything that is not good for the body. It's just an extreme discipline, and I think that's something that's really important to keep an eye out on. And the next thing that I think is really important to let you know is, there we go, what can you do if you think someone is suffering from orthorexia nervosa? As I said before, the biggest problem with this one is the fact that they don't think that they have a problem, and that's the scariest part. But again, all I can say is that either you take them to a doctor yourself, or even better, you might have to get a really close, trusted confidant or friend that will take them to the doctor, because they don't think that they have a problem, okay? And they don't want to be ashamed in front of a parent or a friend or anything like that, and they certainly don't want to start eating bad food. I also think it's really important to go to expert help. Any kind of eating disorder is not about food. It's about It's stuff that's going on for them in their head, and they need to speak to someone about it. Quite often, a psychologist, a psychotherapist, all sorts of different really good therapists out there. It's a matter of finding the right kind of doctor for you. You have to find the right kind of expert for you. Okay? So I certainly hope that helps you, starving for information. Keep those questions rolling in. I love them. If there's anything else you want to know, hey, come and join me next time on Ask the Agent.